Good morning, YTPC. Welcome you to my porch and my grandmother's rocker sitting right across from me. So make yourself at home. I hope you've had a good week, and you'll sit and relax, and let's spend some time smoking a pipe and talking if we feel like it, and not talking if we don't. I want to tell you a little bit about this pipe that I'm smoking. You can see that it has a very, very huge bowl to it. And there's a story to this pipe. It's very sentimental. I hope you will forgive me if I maybe tear up at times. This is a very, very huge bowl, and sorry, it is windy out here this morning, so I may have to relight more than often. But anyway, was with my dad about 30 years ago, something like that, and we were riding around in his truck, pulling his trailer, which was empty, and we passed by this guy's yard, and it seemed like he had a fallen tree in his backyard. He had a chainsaw out there, and my dad was always one who liked to stop and help people. So we stopped and went back there, and he said, the neighbors said, no, it's not a tree, or it was a tree, but I'm not going to use it for firewood or anything. I've made a pipe out of it. And so his chainsaw he was using to do the fine last second sort of things that he was doing. And so I've been wanting a pipe, and I like very large pipes. And so my dad said, well, we'll buy it from you. And he said, well, that'll be fine. I probably won't smoke it much anyway. So we hooked some chains to it and pulled this pipe that was once a tree and put it in the trailer in the back, and managed to get all of it in there. It's very huge, piece of wood. And so we went on down the road. My dad knew of a tobacco field nearby, so we had to have tobacco to smoke in this, so we backed the trailer up to the tobacco yard, and we got some of the people to just put tobacco in the back of the truck. They didn't strip it or anything like that. Just the whole leaf, just put it in the back of the truck. And so when we got home, we just put it in the pipe. I mean, we put it in this bowl, which was once a tree. And my dad wanted to make it into an outhouse. We needed a new outhouse, and he was going to take the wood and make it into that. But I pleaded with him. I was in my mid-20s or so. Well, actually early 30s. But anyway, but I begged him. I said, please, Dad, don't, let me keep this as a pipe. He said, okay, I'll give you this, but you're not going to get the pony that you've been wanting. So I felt that was an equitable trade. So I had the bowl, had the tobacco in it, and so then the problem was, of course, the stem. And so we went to Dad knew where everything was, and he knew of a place where they made mufflers for our exhaust pipes for large construction equipment. And so we went there, picked up the biggest one we could find. The man there generously bent it into some sort of shape, and we hammered it out. Anyway, got a stem for it and spray painted it black, which is it still has kept its black thing. And so went home, and we needed a good char light, of course. And so what we decided to do was roast a pig in it, and that gave us a pretty good char light. Did sort of ghost the pipe for a while because everything I smoked smelled like pig. But eventually we worked our way out of it. And so I've been smoking this pipe now for, 25 years. And when I say the pipe, really, I've been smoking this same bowl of tobacco for about 25 years. Every once in a while, when it burns down, I have to get in there with some fire boots. I used to be a volunteer fireman, and I kept the boots. And so I have to get in there, and I just jump up and down like, they do with pressing wine. How these people stomp wine to get the juice out. Well, I just sort of stomp down the tobacco, and I do that every once in a while. So I've been smoking this pipe now in this bowl for about, I don't know, 25 years or so. And it's very sentimental. My dad has passed away now, and it's tough to talk about. But I don't think many of you out there have pipes that were once trees, as this one was. It is kind of tough to wrap your lips around a tailpipe, though, I'll tell you that. Some of you may do that now, but that's something you probably should get some help for. So, I'm just kidding, obviously. What this really is a Ben Wade freehand. I'm trying to remember the exact model of it. Oasis or something like that. But anyway, it's a Ben Wade freehand. And in it today, I am smoking Old Joe Kranz Red Label. Apparently, there are two types of Old Joe Kranz, and I did not buy this tobacco. This was part of a very, very generous offering from Parsimonious Piper, who sent me a bunch of samples. In fact, my last video was about the Yabo, where I opened that box up, and this is just one of the things that I'm smoking. So, really good. This is a really good tobacco. I'm an aromatic guy mostly, and haven't been smoking long, as those of you who've seen my videos know. So I don't even try to tell you what it is. It could be anywhere from an aromatic to a Virginian to marijuana, for all I know. I just don't get much of the taste yet. I'm working on it. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna have to throw another pig on here because it keeps going out on me. Once asked one of the YTPC veterans, how hard should you draw when you're trying to get a char light? And he told me that I should draw until I have smoke coming out of my rear end. I hadn't tried that yet. Seems like to me it would burn. But anyway. If you haven't discovered that I have a weird sense of humor, you will soon. So, what I really wanted to talk to you today about, very briefly, I'm so excited about something that I was able to get, and it still just kind of blows my mind. I caught on eBay and listing for a pipe. And it was this pipe here, which is a Shokum pipe. And the thing about this pipe is that this pipe actually belonged to a Pulitzer Prize winner, a man named Charles Werner. And Charles Werner was a political cartoonist who won the Pulitzer Prize in 1939 and was famous political cartoonist. He worked for the Indianapolis Star, and his cartoons were published all around the country. And he became so well known that he was a friend of Walt Disney's, but even more so, he was a friend of a number of United States presidents. In fact, Lyndon Johnson requested 12 of his original cartoons for his personal collection. So this was a man who was known by presidents and won the Pulitzer Prize. And his granddaughter was the one auctioning off the pipe because she wanted the money for something that she wanted to do for her son. Well, I got into the bidding war for it, and I won't tell you what I paid for it. It still kind of hurts now to think about it. But to have a pipe that belonged to a Pulitzer Prize winner is going to be a family heirloom. I haven't smoked it yet. I haven't had the nerve to do it. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous to spend this much money for a pipe and not smoke it. And I will smoke it at some point. But I just haven't had the courage to do it yet. I don't want to screw it up. I'm a new pipe smoker, and I don't know. I just haven't had the courage yet to do it. But I will. It's in wonderful shape. It has a little bit of chatter, which is good to me because that's the tooth chatter of a Pulitzer Prize winner. And it doesn't end there. I sent a text to his granddaughter, and I wanted to tell her that whether I won the bid or not, how much I appreciated what her grandfather had accomplished. I had a very close relationship with my grandfather, as those of you who have listened to my first videos know, and I know that relationship. And I told her, I said, if I'm lucky enough to win it, I will make sure, I promise you, that I will not resell it. I promise you that it will be loved, it will be cared for, and I will put in my will how these pipes are to be kept care of. And I said, I'm not going to turn around and try to make money off of it. Well, we've struck up sort of a friendship. She's just a wonderful young lady, single mom, and I've picked up a friend in addition to the pipe. Well, when she sent me this pipe that I showed you, she also sent me a couple of other things. One of the things she sent me was this, what I call kind of a cocktail pipe. And I don't think it has the markings on it. Let me see, let me look again. No, I take that back, it does. This is a Dr. Grabow pipe. Now, these pipes, all the ones that I'm going to show you, he smoked, he went from, he started his career, I don't know, in the early 30s, late 20s. And so he smoked these pipes. You can see the teeth chatter on them. And his granddaughter said that once he bought a pipe, he didn't, get rid of it. He kept his pipes, and he didn't have many pipes. So this was used a lot. It's in absolutely immaculate shape. Now, that was enough. I got 2 out of it. Now, she actually sent me a third pipe, which is much the same design. And I forget what this one, I think this is a, oh geez, I should have looked this up before I started my video. But anyway, it's, and I don't have great light out here. Oh, I know what it is. It's a Westie. It's called a Westie pipe. Now, this would have been cool enough. But as I was taking it apart, okay, I noticed, excuse me, it's the other one, not this one. And the Dr. Grabow, I'm sorry. When I took it apart, guess what I found? This is the filter. This is the filter that was in the pipe. Now, it's brown, so it was obviously smoked. This was probably the last time this Pulitzer Prize winner smoked this pipe. Because it still has his, well, what we produce when we go in our filter. So anyway, but this to me is so cool to have the pipes and the filter, that went with it. These are the old Dr. Grabow filters. They look about the same now, but this is actually a Medico filter, but they were used oftentimes in Dr. Grabow pipes. But I just thought that was just so interesting to have that. And to top it all off, this very, very generous young lady sent me an original cartoon that Charles Warner drew. His name was Charles Warner. An original cartoon that he drew, and I'm going to have it framed, obviously, professionally, and put somewhere where I can see it, where the sun won't bleach it out. But I cannot put into words what that meant to me. I love history. I love art. I've always studied Renaissance art, not so much political cartoons, but I love that stuff. And this young lady was so grateful that her grandfather's stuff was going to go to someone who loved it and would understand the meaning of it and would preserve it. So that was my treat, and that came at a good time for me right now to have that. And I know that I could go on eBay, and the original cartoon, there's no telling what that would go for, from a Pulitzer Prize one. I mean, this was the actual sheet that he drew on, and it had markings around it that designated sizes and how it's to be cropped. And I mean, these came directly from his pen. And I know that and the 3 pipes, I mean, there's no telling what I could make if I put it on eBay. I know what the pipe I bought cost. So, and I'm a teacher. I don't have a lot of money. But, you know, I felt like this was a chance to get a piece of history. And you don't get a chance to do that very often. And also I got to help her with something she wanted to do for her 10-year-old. I think he's a 10-year-old son. I love this old Joe Kranz. This is good tobacco. Old Joe Kranz, not Old Pops. He's a presenter on the channel. Just want to make sure we don't get that mixed up. This is Old Joe Kranz. There may well be an Old Pops blend. There should be. But I don't know if there is. Speaking of Old Pops, if you are not tuned to his channel, I'm still learning. I asked a buddy of mine this morning how you put links on the bottom of your videos. This is only my 4th or 5th video, so I wasn't sure how to do it. But let me just tell you, if you're not familiar with Old Pops, not only are his videos informative and hilariously funny, he's also a musician and quite a good one. And his last post, he did a song playing his guitar, which is just will pull your heartstrings. So if you're not someone who's watched Old Pops or know Old Pops, he's a legend on YTPC, and please check that out. His video is wonderful. Again, I'm sorry for the constant relights, but the breeze out here is swirling just right in here. That's my tamper. There it is. It's a homemade tamper. I bought a pipe. Not the same one, but another pipe I bought. The person who sold it to me also makes tampers, and he gave me that. Also, speaking of channels, if you haven't checked out Hermit Piper, Hermit, Hermit Piper, I came across him this morning, and his production, I mean, his videos are good, but one thing that's unusual about him in terms of, and I've watched a bunch of YTPC videos, but one of the things that strikes me about him is he's equally knowledgeable about cigars and pipes. And so he gives you sort of a hybrid. If you're a hybrid like I am, I smoke cigars occasionally too, mostly Churchills. I love Churchills. But since I switched over to pipes, I have not smoked any cigars. Well, he's very good. His channel is very good at looking at both, which I like. I like that dual, like I said, hybrid kind of approach. I don't know if you can pick up the crickets and um, the birds. This is it's like my own private symphony. I get to go and attend anytime I want. This where I'm living is very rural, and I put out feeders and things like that, and so I get a lot of different birds, and you know, the symphony of nature. I get quite a bit, and I just love it. It's very soothing at night. One of my videos, I think it's my second one I did at night, and one of the viewers commented that they just love to listen to the cicadas and the other insects, and you know, that I have out here, the bugs that I have out here. Well, again, I've run farther than I like to go. That it's less than the other three, so I'm getting better. Thank you for sticking with me. Again, check out Hermit Piper. He has a huge following. I would imagine most of you already know about him. Check out Old Pops' last video with him singing. Just marvelous, marvelous talent. And thank you, Hermit, for he gave me a shout out on his channel, which I appreciated very much. And I just, again, want to stop by saying how much I appreciate all of you, the support that I've gotten, those of you who have subscribed. If you know other people who might like this type of video, or channel, then please have them stop by. I'd love to have them join the family. So I hope that you have a beautiful Saturday wherever you are. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for sitting in my grandmother's rocker, and thank you for listening to me babble on. And I hope that you will stop soon. Come back by and visit me. You always have a chair open. In spirit, we are always together. So have a good afternoon. Thanks for the company.